Live, where you can explore complex topics or ideas just by talking. But before we get started, take a quick look at...
Shut up. Hello, y'all. Testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. 1, 2, 3, testing. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? Hello. Okay. Now, I wanted to come on here, right? Because we've been dealing with situations here. No, it's Tarrant County, but I call it Tyrant County. Because that's all we have, tyrants. You know? That's all we have. Freaking tyrants. But some people asked me to come on here and explain what I was talking about yesterday, right? And now Fort Worth, Texas is we haven't seen too many ICE or DHS over here, really, right? And because here in Fort Worth we film, right? And they don't want to be on film, so they do their raids or whatever during the early mornings, like from, let's say, 1 in the morning to like 5 in the morning, 6 in the morning, and they'll dip. But what I wanted to bring attention to is how they do it here in our jails, right? Because recently I was contacted by a nonprofit here in Fort Worth called Hug a Thug, right? And they're focused on I I'm I if I'm not mistaken, the youth and other things that have to do with giving them a better opportunity in high crime areas and stuff like that, where they're targeted mostly, right? So a U.S. citizen, right, was arrested because, and he's not denying what he was arrested for, and it was under an ounce of marijuana. You know what I'm saying? That's what he went to jail for, under an ounce of marijuana, right? So also he was on parole, which again, you can't be if you're not a U.S. citizen. Because if you go to prison, you go to federal prison in Texas, you will not get released to the free world. You will go and get deported. So this man, right, he got caught with that. He didn't deny it. He was willing to accept the responsibility for being caught with that. That wasn't his argument. His argument was he was a U.S. citizen. A U.S. citizen because he has an ID. He has an ID that states that. So he's trying to explain this to the jail and everyone, because I think it was in May of this year, he goes to court. They give him credit time served for the possession, right? So now, mind you, his whole arrest had to do with possession of marijuana under an ounce. So there's no telling how much he had. He could have had a blunt, he could have had a joint, he could have had it doesn't matter, because when they say under, they don't specify, right? So he went to jail, he did his time for it, and when it was time to release him, they started this whole he's illegal, right? And I just stated, remember, he has a Texas ID, he has his birth certificate, and he has his social security card, all on him. All of it is on him. So I'm not understanding where the confusion is, right? So that happens. His parole officer sends a letter to the jail stating that since that's what they gave him, they're going to release him. The parole sent a letter for reinstatement on to parole. They didn't send him to prison. They weren't violating him, right? So then they used the excuse that he had an ice hold. Now, mind you, how is that possible? How is it possible? How does a U.S. citizen get a ice hold on him in the Tarrant County Jail? So those were smart because I was like, how it goes. When they reached, I asked these specific questions and they didn't know. So I was like, cool, okay, cool. But the thing that bothers me so much about this is what they wrote on his ticket. And then they took it from him so he wouldn't have this proof. On the ticket they gave him, I don't know what it was for. He doesn't know because he wasn't allowed to keep it. An officer wrote on there on his way back to Mexico. That's so fucked up, man. And if y'all haven't understood the mentality these people have, right? It's crazy, right? So this man was incarcerated. May was when he was given his time served and everything. Uh, and his parole officer already said, release him to us, right? We got to monitor for him. We're going to watch him. That never happened. All of a sudden, an ice hold popped up, but we couldn't find it. We could not find it. So the thing that bothers me so much is all they had to do, the jail, Bill Wayborn, the intake, the booking, the release on the third floor, the supervisors, all six of them that are sitting there in front of these computers and telling you shit. If you don't shut up, you're going to go back into the cell and you're going to be here till I feel like releasing you. Those guys, all they had to do was look into his property and look for these documents, but they chose not to. They chose not to. And remind you, this man has been sitting in jail for 6 months already. He didn't have his family. He didn't, no one knew what was going on. No one knew anything. It took an inmate in there. Shout out, Matt. It took an inmate in there to care about what was going on with his fellow human being. And that's what pisses me off. And this is what fucking pisses me off about this situation, man. How they're inconsiderate. How they don't even want to do simple investigations because you don't need a detective's degree. You don't need to get some type of schooling to use your common sense because these are humans. No matter what they're labeling them, no matter what they want you to feel about these people, because they're not going after unalivers. They're not going after grapists. They're not going after any of them because the biggest grape, the biggest kidnapping, the biggest anything that have to do with children is that fucking Epstein list, and they're protecting it like that's gold. So save me the theatrics. Save me your weak excuses about its children and this and that when that's not what y'all doing. Y'all making deals with the actual underlivers, with the actual transporters, traffickers. Y'all make deals with them so their whole family can come to the United States. Save me your bullshit. That's not what's happening you. That's not what's happening here. What's happening here is the whole rule of law. The Constitution is being shit on by these fucking weirdos. And I don't understand it. And then not only that, right? I started calling yesterday. I started asking questions. I started trying to figure out shit. And don't you know, all of a sudden he was released at 1 a.m, but they wouldn't say if he was in the street or if he was here or there. Right? So come to find out, they shipped him to Dallas ICE detention center. That's where he went. And it's confusing because this is a U.S. citizen that they're doing this to. And then when he gets to Dallas, the ICE detention center, because we have a conflict with Dallas, right? The chief of police is saying they will not support or help ICE. You're on your own. While the mayor is saying, no, we could get $25 million to do what? Them $25 million are what y'all going to have to pay. Because I promise you, this is not the only individual that they've done like this. It's just the only one we found. And it all started from an inmate in the cell with him, in the pod with him. None of us would have known. And they hit me up and they did the best thing they could do because I know their little bullshit paperwork game lies this. They had no ICE detention hold. They had no reason for him being there. And the only reason they send him to Dallas is to CYA, cover their asses. Because as soon as he gets over there, they release him. I took a picture with this man and I told Tyrant County Jail, Bill Wayborn, and ICE, y'all are fucked. Y'all are screwed. Because y'all are listening to a dude that doesn't even understand what a real tan is. That doesn't understand that he's a fucking sick dude. I don't get this, right? So that was the thing that I wanted to bring. I wanted to say this, right? Because it is wrong. Y'all know it's wrong. And the only reason y'all send him to Dallas instead of releasing him to his home like y'all were supposed to, right? Because think about this. He's been in there 6 months. If he had a job, a business, it's gone. If he had a home, if he had bills, they're gone. And if he lived with somebody and they hated him and they're mad because he stayed in there, all his clothes, everything. This man has to literally start over from zero because of you dumbasses don't understand how to do your job. So now we have finally our answer. Tyrant County Jail cooperates with ICE, even if they're wrong, which is weird to me, man. I don't understand that. How do you incarcerate someone and then not refuse to let them go because y'all want to get money from ICE? Y'all want to get money for detaining him when he wasn't supposed to. That's 6 months that y'all illegally held this man against his will because we have the letter the PO sent to y'all. That's crazy. In our jail, just alone this in the beginning of this year, I think it's a total of a 75 deaths here. But Robert, they're all on the fucking list. It's not just Trump, but he's the one right now protecting them. The one before Biden, same shit. Bush, Clinton, they all protected this fucking list because this list didn't happen 4 years ago. This hasn't been happening 4 years ago. Stop it. They're all on the fucking list. That's why they're all protecting it. That's why they're putting judges in place so they can block it. Man, come on, dude. If y'all still ain't hip, just stay in the sidelines. Stay in the sidelines. They're all fucking trash. Because we get screwed over every time something like this happens. We suffer. And that's what I'm tired of hearing. I'm tired of hearing I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a liberal. I'm a fucking pissed off citizen that's had enough. And I'm saying, fuck y'all. That's it. It's that simple. So when y'all come on my pages and start talking about that weird shit, get the fuck out of there. Because this is not the time or the place to be telling me what the fuck you represent and what you don't like. I don't fucking care. You know, that's not my fucking concern. My concern is they're fucking us over. Right? Because this man is a U.S. citizen. They're fucking with U.S. citizens, homie. And that's not cool. That's not cool one bit. Let me see if I do this. If it'll. Bear with me. Trying to see if I can get this. Cause see, the minute you start talking about them, yeah, they start all of a sudden your shit don't work. All of a sudden your phone starts tripping. All of a sudden you don't have a good signal. But yeah, this is what I want to tell people, man. This is what I want to tell people, right? Please be very aware, man. Check on your people. Check on your people, right? Because this man has been in jail for 6 months without being told anything. He was in jail for 6 months, illegally held because of ICE. That's weird, bro. And he had his birth certificate, he had his ID and his social security in his person, on his person. That's crazy. Jeff, I know who both of them are. I know who Tanawa is, and I know who Jessica is. Yeah. I know who they are. I know what they're doing. Yes. But this was what I wanted to bring awareness to, right? Because it's no longer, they're not catching people that are harming others. Because how is you smoking weed going to harm anyone? That's what I want to know. Not you giving it to someone, not you trying to spread it around, you possessing it and smoking it. How is that going to hurt anyone? How, explain to me where the victim is. You know what I'm saying? Because if anything, it's going to be his stomach or his lungs, right? Because if it's on fire, you're going to choke, right? And if it's gas, you're going to get hungry. That's it. I don't understand this, right? But that's what we have to deal with. And it's so messed up. Like, can you imagine that, man? Being in jail for 6 months, not knowing what the fuck is going on? You don't know? And then all of a sudden they're telling you you're released, and then you end up at fucking ICE and you're a US citizen. I used to fucking joke about that. I used to be like, yeah, I wish they would. Now I know they will. Now I know they will. Now I know they will because he's been in there 6 months. I started digging in this shit less than 24 hours and he's already at his house. He's already at his house. And they're not saying nothing about it. No one is saying shit about it, bro. I want y'all to pay attention to that. No one is saying shit about a US citizen being fucking detained by ICE. And it's an imaginary fucking detainment because it never existed. It never happened. And that's crazy. That's crazy. Talk about your rights getting fucking pissed on. Talk about all that shit. And you got the proof. The birth, and I'm gonna keep saying the birth certificate, the social security, and his ID was on his person when he was in jail. Those 6 fucking months, they had all the information in the property. They had it in his property. Make that one make sense. That's crazy. We had a vet in jail 5 months. I'm telling you, man. And if you're registered, if you have a license to carry a weapon, right? Right? Because in Texas, I know uh his name, yes, it's live, James. I know that when you start talking about the government, you have bad signal and all that, but this is live. I'm live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time. So, James, if you want to look at it and you can't look at it here, go to my YouTube channel. I'm on both of them at the same time. Look. You know? And that's all I wanted to bring everybody's attention to. A U.S. citizen was detained for 6 months illegally with an imaginary ice hope, right? But then the crazier part is when I talked to his girlfriend, right? Um, she said that they when he got to they don't. That's what this guy's saying over here. No one needs a license. That's what I was gonna explain, right? No. He's saying that a veteran was detained illegally for carrying for what coming through the state, you know? Cause that's not fucking cool, man. We don't need none of that bullshit. You don't even need that fucking thing where it's a concealed carry permit in Texas. They don't do all that no more. So you still believe government should exist at all? I'm struggling with that right now, homie, to be honest. To be honest, because I could say yeah or no, but it would still be irrelevant, you know? I don't know, man. This shit is so fucked up because that man was in jail for 6 fucking months, dude. And no, and he would send kites, he would send we got tablets, you can email. He would send all these and no one would answer him. No one has shit to say, right? That's what I said, man. It's fucked up and it's messed up when someone has to be there to make these people do because they can't spin me. I know they're bullshit. They've done it to me numerous of fucking times. You know what I'm saying? Do you still believe? Oh, nah, man. I don't think that's cool at all, man. For a guy to be, and I'm gonna say it again. Everything he owned, his home. If he had a car and he didn't pay for it cash, and he was paying payments, he lost that car. Everything is gone. That's crazy, man. And they don't have no hey, our bad, man. You know, we there's nothing you can say to make anyone feel better about that, man. And I was determined to make sure that he talked with an attorney to sue the fuck out of him. You know, because that's not cool, man. It's not cool. And the crazy part is when he gets to Dallas, the detention center, there's all his paperwork proving. Man, stop it, bro. This shit is crazy. I don't know. Yeah, John, it is a fucking show, especially the way it is now. Because I posted this on Facebook, and everyone's been going ape shit. You know, I put I put this on Facebook, and everybody's like, "Oh my god, hey, all these people talking shit. Oh my god, oh my god." Hold on, where's it at? This is funny as fuck. Well, I can't find it, but it's all his little buddies with fucking. Yep, then you got these little weenies. The little where the fuck is it at? So I keep posting yeah. Well, they fucked around and found out today though. It ain't gonna be business as usual though. See, this is my favorite one. This is my favorite one right here. So yeah. So that was my whole thing, man. I wanted to make that aware, right? Because um Well, then don't worry about it, James. You don't have to. If you can't find me on YouTube, good. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's not the point. I don't care if people find me on fucking YouTube or not. That's not the point. You know? So my whole thing is weird, bro. That was one thing. And a bunch of people asked me to read this the letter, right? About the Texas redistricting maps, right? Because this is the one that was sent to the Honorable Gregory Lamefuck Abbott and to the Weasel Ken Paxton, right? This is the right? Yes, it's bad, right? So, and if y'all don't want to hear about the redistricting map and what it says, you can go ahead and scroll on, right? But a bunch of people asked me to read it, right? And because I have a little opinion about what they're doing with it. Right. So this says the two, and it's from the DOJ, right? You see it at the top, the heading. It's from the DOJ. Right? So it says, "Dear Governor Abbott and Attorney General Paxton, this letter will serve as formal notice by the Department of Justice of the state of Texas of serious concerns regarding the legality of 4 of Texas congressional districts. As stated below, Congressional District Texas 09, Texas 18, Texas 39, and Texas 33 currently constitute unconstitutional coalition districts. Coalition districts. Right? And we urge the state of Texas to rectify these race-based considerations from these specific districts. In Allen versus, I need some fucking glasses, Milligan, 599, Justice Kavanaugh noted that even if Congress in 1982 could constitutionally authorize race-based redistricting under Article 2 for some period of time, the authority to conduct race-based redistricting cannot extend indefinitely into the future. 599 U.S. 1 Kavanaugh concurring in SFFA versus Harvard. The Supreme Court reiterated that deviation from the norm of equal treatment on account of race must be a temporary matter. And respect for a temporary. When race is the predominant factor above other traditional redistricting considerations, including compactness. And I really need some glasses because it sounds like it says contain something. Man, that's a fucking weird ass word. I can't see it. I think the ink got too close. But I think it's C. That's why I was laughing. It says CUNT IGUITY, whatever that is. And respect for a political subdivision line. The state of Texas must demonstrate a compelling state interest to survive state strict scrutiny. It is well established that so-called coalition districts must run afoul the Voting Rights Act and the 14th Amendment. In Petaway versus Galveston County, number 23-40582, Fifth Circuit 2024, the in bank Fifth Circuit Court of Appeal made it abundantly clear that coalition districts are not protected by the Voting Rights Act. There was a reversal of its previous decision in Campos versus City of Baytown. In Petaway, the Fifth Circuit aligned itself with the Supreme Court's decision in Bartlett versus Strickland and determined that a minority group must be geographically compact enough to constitute more than 50% of the voting population in a single member district to be protected under the Voting Rights Act. See also Thornburg versus Gingles, 47-8 U.S. 1996. Opportunity and coalition districts are premised on either the combining of two minority groups or a minority group with white crossover voting to meet the 50% threshold. Neither meets the first Gingles precondition. Thus, the racial gerrymandering of congressional district is unconstitutional and must be rectified immediately by state legislators. It is the position of the department that several Texas congressional districts constitute unconstitutional racial gerrymanders under the logic and reasoning of Petaway. Specifically, the record indicates that Texas 09, Texas 18 sort Houston voters aligned strict racial lines to create two coalition seats, while creating Texas 29, a majority Hispanic district, is another racially based coalition district that resulted in a court order years ago. Yet the Texas legislature drew Texas 33 on the same lines in their 2021 district redistricting. Therefore, Texas 33 remains as a coalition district. Although the state interest when configuring these districts was to comply with Fifth Circuit precedent prior to the 2024 Petaway decision, that interest no longer exists post-Petaway. The congressional districts at issue are nothing more than vestiges of an unconstitutionally racially based gerrymandering past, which must be abandoned and must now be corrected by Texas. Please respond to this letter by July 7, 2025, and advise me of the state's intentions to bring its current redistricting plan into compliance with the U.S. Constitution. If the state of Texas fails to rectify the racial gerrymandering of Texas District 9, District 18, District 29, and District 33 after they just stated, it remains a coalition district, right? The Attorney General reserves the right to seek legal action against the state, including without limitation under the 14th Amendment. And it's respectively Harmit K. Dillon, Attorney General, Civil Rights Division, and Michael E. Gates, Deputy Assistant Attorney General, Civil Rights Division. And this is the envelope it was sent to them. Y'all see it? See? So cool. So I just wanted to read that to y'all because y'all have to understand what they're doing to us, right? And this is crazy. This letter right here. Because I go back to that Penaway ruling, right? since they bring it up, and it was in. That's what I mean. Because there wasn't nothing wrong with the map. Because they voted on it that way for the past 2 times, right? For the past 20 years, they did it like that. So there wasn't nothing wrong with it. It's just all of a sudden now there's something wrong with it, and you got DOJ people in on the thing. It's crazy. And they're all pissed off because they know they're losing support, they're losing help, right? Because they won't release them fucking Epstein files. They won't release them. They won't release them, and look what he's doing to everyone, right? Because if you think, right, that none of this will affect you, it will. It will. It will. Trust me, right? So I'm gonna end my Hey, BB. Yeah, man. So that was my thing. I wanted to bring awareness for because I sent this. I requested this from them, right? So they send it to me. Look, I have it. And then about a month later, they tell me that it's gonna take some time for me to get it because they have to figure out where it's at. They have to ask this person, ask that person. And I already have it. Matter of fact, look, I'll show y'all the email, right? And this is so fucking weird, man. That's why I don't listen to them no more because they send it to me already, and then they're saying it's gonna take some time for me to get it. You know? No, it does. It affects all of us. Uh oh. Uh oh. So yeah, where the fuck? Hold on. I'm down. They send me something. I got some. I got see. One of my information requests was fulfilled. Whoop whoop. So now I get to figure out the truth, the truth, the truth, the truth. Oh, come on now. I know y'all didn't do that, dude. No, I need the. Sir, come on now. They don't want to give me the body cam footage because they're saying I didn't request it right. That's so dumb. I put the report number on there. So what do you mean I didn't ask for it properly? Look, I'm requesting the police report for the casket report number 2200966603 and any body camera footage. I mean, they gave me the police report and everything, but it says additionally you have requested officer body worn camera recording. Body worn camera recordings are subject to article whatever. It provides the procedure a requester must follow when seeking body cam footage recording. Because your request did not include the information required by as to some all as to some all of the responsive recording. Dude, how fucking weird do you motherfuckers have to be? Chris Herbert, that's who's doing this dumbass shit. Look, come on now. You send me the whole fucking police report, but you won't send me the body cam footage, man. Come on. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. It's not how we get down. And they close it, right? And look, a failure to provide all of the information required does not preclude the requester from making a future request for the same recorded information. If you wish to submit another request, providing the request, and I know what it is, but this is so anal of them, bro, because I didn't put the day, the time, and the address. Those three fucking things. Fuck you. That shit's so stupid. That's why I say you motherfuckers ain't got no fucking common sense. You know? As to all of the requested recordings, the city may seek a ruling from the Office of Attorney General regarding that information. Y'all released it to the news already, bro. This is how stupid they are, bro. Y'all already gave a flash drive to the news people. But because I requested, y'all gonna not give it to me, and then y'all, if I do request it, y'all gonna ask for Kim Paxton, the pussy, to fucking hide it. Just like, look, and I'm gonna tell y'all something about that, right? Ken Paxton has 45 to 50 days to respond to one of these stupid shits that they send him. My request for the memorandum that was used when they tried to revoke my bond and the press release that fucking Bill Wayborn released accusing me of disturbing the fucking meeting. Those two things were used at my public hearing. Anyone could be in there. Anyone. And now I sent for that, right? And what they did, the district attorney said that now that the sheriff's department is their client, they're acting as their lawyer so they can keep this private and confidential because of client attorney privilege. And that's so dumb, but they have to remember if you keep it confidential, and y'all didn't. Y'all didn't. It's crazy. Hold up, y'all. Yeah, so that whole shit is crazy, bro. I don't get it. You know, I don't get that shit. Bro, no, but the thing is, they already gave it to him. I mean, look, suck it easy. It look, if they if they already compiled the evidence, like the request, if they already requested it from someone else, like the news people have been trying to get it too, right? And they said they put it together, they put all body camera footage together on a flash drive, and it's gonna send it to them. And that's so crazy. Now they're telling me that certain things are going to be asked to be kept secret by Ken Paxton. So I want the news people to reach out to me and answer if that's what they said to them too. And I know a couple of them here in Fort Worth, so I'm gonna fucking ask them. All right, Popeye, you be safe out there, man. All right, before I get off, I'm gonna say what's up to everybody. Okay, oh man, in Lost, in Los Lunas, orale, las Lunas in the house. Blue Hornet. No, I already said no. Nevaeh, how you doing? And Cap Gamer, what's the deal? Popeye, Kiona, Jeff. Yeah. John D, what's up, baby? Jason. Yeah. Yeah, the Trip Six, baby. I grew up on them. Yeah, I know who they are. I don't care. No, they don't. Yep. Yes, they are. Suck it easy. How did he get out? They had to release him. He didn't have to bond out. He didn't have to bond out. That motherfucker ain't in there no more though. They ended up over there in Dallas by you, bro. Yeah, oh, he got out because he proved he was a US citizen. That's how he got out. We proved he was a US citizen. And grab it hard, not for real. Fuck the government. Especially right fucking now. Seek and destroy. Seek and destroy Juggalo News. Okay, and say clown posse. Michael, what's up? Yeah, I just read it to everybody, man. That's so real. Yep, and after they said they don't. Brandon, what's up? Appreciate you, freaking awesome. Fake News Network. Wow. Hmm. Hey, man, you should be a comedian, bro. Those are good jokes. So, redrawing lines, yeah. Yeah. A Democratic judge blocked the release. I mean, look, and I'll say this again, okay? So everyone understands. If y'all think the only ones on that list are Republicans, please don't do that to yourselves. Don't do that, right? Because you have to understand this blackmail ring is smarter than just attacking one side, right? Because they fund both of them. APAC, come on now. John, they don't care. I was looking into the unaliving of a 16-year-old who reportedly brought a firearm from an ex-deputy. His brother stated the ex-deputy sold it to him. What? No fucking way. Now you're gonna have me looking at that shit too, John. I'll find it. That's fucked up, pussy. Yeah, good one, John. I that's a good point. Yeah, they always do it. They mute it there, so they don't have to edit it. They mute it when they're there. They mute it when they're there. You know, and the only reason I want to get it is because there's people on Facebook saying that the mayor was there and she came outside and then she talked with the people who dropped the coffin in her house and she forgave them and she wasn't pressing charges because she wanted to end the racial divide. Sure, sure, sure. But then years later, you use it to talk shit to someone because you didn't like what she said. And that's crazy. Yep. No, they it gets lost, but it also gets tangled up in the Ken Paxton fuck wheel. You know, because I'm telling you, okay, what I was saying earlier, they have 55 days. Ken Paxton has 45 to 50 days to respond to when they send them an opinion. My opinion, I've been waiting for my opinion from loser Ken Paxton for over 160 days. And then when I call right here to the DA and then to them saying, hey, man, did y'all get a response from Ken Paxton about my quest for the information y'all used against me? And they said, no, it's not up to us anymore. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I started going to the law library because I looked into it and there ain't shit you can do to sue them or nothing like that. But you can file a writ of mandamus to force them to give it to me. And that's what I'm doing. So, I damn. Lisa rang up. Nah, for real. She said, you know, even if you forget a period or a question mark, they're going to reject it. No, yeah, sure, fucking right. But yeah, look, and the whole time, look, well, I'll read the police report since it's right here, right, and since we're here, right. So, and the police officers who responded to him because look, it says it's a terroristic threat, right? And these are the laws that responded. James Minter, Kaylee Tuckness, and Scott McCarthy. They're the ones who showed up, right? So I guess I'm gonna have to do that. I have to request their body cam footage on 12/10/2022 at 8:33 with 51 seconds. And well, and see that you can't they can't say shit about the location, right? Because they blocked it, right? There's no location there. So that can't be it, right? And what it states is there's three suspects and they're unknown, right? And victim one, which he wasn't there, which is Maddie Parker's husband, right? He wasn't there, right? And Black Gandhi Stasha, whatever the fuck that is. And then there's a guy who was a witness, Brett Vanna, whatever, Sonnenberg. A terrorist threat report was completed, right? So now they switch it on, they pass it on down, right? They write the little shit, and in comes the detectives, right? And this is what I mean, man. Like, them dudes are weird. Stasha Black, a white female. And Brett Sonnenberg is a white male. Is not Hispanic Latino. We know that. Okay. It says on December 10th, I officer J.L. Minter, 3906, working at L112, was dispatched at 8:38 hours to, they take away the address, in regards to a disturbance call. Upon arrival at 8:44 in my marked patrol unit, observed a spray painted coffin in front of the location and rip one black, oh, that girl, I guess, related the following to me. She stated that she was inside of the residence when she heard noise outside. That she say three persons remove a coffin and got scared. Sasha did not speak to any of the individuals and they just drove away. Witness 1, who works for AT&T and observed a black Dodge fully dually truck without a tailgate pull in front of the residence. Brett said that all three individuals had their faces and hands covered up, and the driver stayed behind the wheel of the truck, and the other two unloaded the coffins. Officer could smell the odor of fresh spray paint. Sergeant McCarthy placed gloves on and opened the coffin, and there was nothing inside. Another fucking lie. She tried to say they had some shit in there for her that she took personal. Sergeant McCarthy notified all the proper chain of command. Detective Dwyer from WCIU was notified and made the call location. The coffin was transported to, I guess they're whatever, by record to a secure bay. RTCC was notified and they were able to locate a possible vehicle, and all of the video and pictures will be loaded. And this is what I want, right? Because they're saying this is the crime, right? They have all the evidence. She said she didn't want to press charges because she didn't want somebody to shut the fuck up, right? Okay. Now the next loser comes up. Tuckness, and his is like short, right? Was dispatched to assist on the determined call at the mayor's residence. I assisted with collecting information and scene security. The casket was transported to the whatever. I followed the casket to the rain was listed for the day. The casket was placed secure before raining. The auto pound needed the casket listed as evidence in the property tags. Okay. And that's what it says. One swab from street side of handrail on casket. That's what the evidence they took. And if they took a swab of some fingerprints, should already had it by now. But I'm guessing. And this is what they uploaded to the photo service. One folder containing 63 photos of crime scene and evidence collected. One folder containing 50 photos of item 1. Right? And then they have one white and blue hospital gown collected from the street in front of the house. One swab from east side of handrail on casket collected. Right? They do all this shit, man. It's kind of weird. Right? No, okay. And before I keep going, this happened in 12/10/2022. Right? So I want everybody to be mindful of that. Okay. Here we go. Now you have the detectives showing up. On Saturday, Officer Hastings was dispatched to a single, whatever. Taking pictures. I observed a closed silver casket, red spray paint, and a number of names and markings on the exterior of the casket. The casket was situated on the roadway near the north curve with the length of the casket running east to west and the head of the casket on the east side. The hinge of the casket was on the street side with the opening side near the curve. This was photographed and collected. I photographed the casket with the lid open to confirm no person, weapons, or contraband were inside. I observed a white and blue Haskell. Yeah, you got that. I observed red spray paint on top edges below the lid of the casket, painted in such a manner as to simulate blood spilling out of the body compartment and running down the side. I observed additional red paint on all visible sides, none on bottom, painted in a manner to stimulate blood spatter as well as patches of blood. On the top center of the casket, I observed the name Atatiana painted in red, pink, and white. Below the name, I observed Say Her Name painted in white. I observed 8 additional names on the lid of the casket: Joe Williams, Jaquavion Slayton, Cody Sills, Philip Vallejo, Jermaine Darden, Amari Malone, Quamon Jefferson, and David Colley. I observed the name Christopher Lowe in the backside of the casket. I observed an area of writing on the east edge of the lid which had been blacked out and then covered with red paint. I observed 4 names on the curbside of the casket: Jennifer Espinoza, Alicia Trevino, with a heart below the names, Derek Thomas, Sherall Ra Thomas. I observed the name of Kelvin Goldstein, painted in red on the west side of the casket. I observed 2 names on the side street of the casket in black: Deshaun Steptoe, Joe Hernan. On the side of the casket, I observed the word justice, FTP, presumed to mean fuck the police. Near the center of the casket to the right of FTP and between Deshaun and Steptoe, I reserved a set of red concentric circles with the red cross centered on the circles, apparently to stimulate the crosshairs of a weapon scope on a target, possibly indicating targeting the. They're so fucking stupid. Okay, this is where they get their dumb shit from. I observed a set of red concentric circles with a red cross centered on the circles, apparently to stimulate the crosshairs of a weapon scope on a target. And it's between the names of the man they killed, the police officer shot and killed, right? Um, Appearing to stimulate the crosshairs of a weapon scope on a target, possibly indicating the targeting of city leaders, police, and their names. Who the fuck is doing this? Hastings 3291, ST 3291. You're dumb. You're a fucking certified DF Click member, and your imagination is fucking crazy, right? So, on the side item for auto pound located. Upon arrival, I measured the casket. I measured the casket to have a length of 6 feet 8 inches with a 2 feet 1 inch and height of 1 foot 9 inches. At the bottom of the casket, observed. It should be noted the casket was extremely lightweight and appeared to be possibly a mock casket for appearances only. That's crazy. I searched the exterior and the interior for any markings indicating who may have manufactured it or who may own it. No markings were found. I then used black powder to process to catch possible land prints. No land prints were developed. So what the fuck were y'all? That's weird. I used 4 sterile cotton swab moistened in distilled water to collect samples of possible contact DNA from the. Gone on. They got DNA. I use UV filter goggles, orange, and a Arrowhead Forensics BioLite model to search for possible biological evidence on the interior lining. I did not observe a reaction consistent with biological nature material. So On Saturday, December 10th, Detective Dwyer 4221 was contacted by Sergeant A. Byers 3665, informing that there was an incident at the mayor's involving a casket. Being on a call detective at the time, I made my way to the scene and route I spoke with Officer Minter, who was at the who was at the scene and requested WCIU come out. While en route, the officer requested a crime scene out to process. Upon my arrival, I observed the casket. I spoke with the nanny. Y'all didn't take your kids to Mexico with y'all? What the fuck going on? Or do they even? I don't even fucking know. I thought they did. I could be wrong. But then who the fuck were they babysitting? That's crazy. But anyways, the nanny. Unless she lives there. Because they even have a picture of them. See, this is why you shouldn't post on Facebook, right? You want to show how fun you're having? There's a picture of them the same day and the same time this is happening. They're posting a picture in Mexico celebrating and smiling, having a good time. Yeah. Okay. And they have RTC route the flock cameras forward HSU pictures of a dually truck used to draw use the flock system to identify the truck and the paper tag used as the license plate. The plate was run and came back to several different vehicles. The plate was determined to be fictitious. Officer Melendez checked all the fictitious plate hits for possible leads on this case. On December 12th, Sergeant Camacho and Officer Mitchell went to the auto pound and checked the casket for serial numbers. It was determined may have been a prop casket possible from Mexico. Gone on. HSU drove to several funeral homes to see if the dually was at one of them, but did not find it. On December, HSU canvassed the neighborhood to find possible witnesses. Officer Melendez spoke with the neighbor of the Parkers, Miss D, who was able to provide video footage of the dually. Oh, I want that footage too. No. Y'all going to give it to me. I want to see all this and I want to put this shit live. I'm going to put it on the internet. Footage. On the footage, one can see the truck drive in front of the house. At this point, people wearing masks jump out, pull the casket out of the bed of the truck, and dropped it on the street. The two people quickly jumped in the truck, and the driver rapidly drove away. On December, and see, this is how they involved that Miss Jones, right? He put some comments about that, about a casket, and then another comment was when advocacy tactics like this happen, folks inevitably condemn it as out of bounds. To protest at an elected official's house or use shock tactics like some line of decorum has been crossed. So I want to proactively point something out before the narrative takes root. Fort Worth black communities has played by the rules over and over again, and she just is an infinity. Maddie has a long history. No, this is. I think they're writing this. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're talking about posts. So they look. The officer Guetta sent a preservation request to Facebook for these posts and any communications about the casket and Mayor Parker from December 3rd to December 13th On December 14, Detective Hill contacted Co-Compliance and requested that the casket be weighed. Co-Compliance R. Bell stated it will be weighed on December 15th. At this time, there were no identifiable leads that would connect any known suspect to the casket that was dropped outside of the house. Although there was mention of a casket in a pod, it is unlikely that Jones was at the scene of the crime. None of the persons involved in dropping the caskets have the same physical features as Jones. This makes it virtually impossible to say she committed the offenses necessary for a search warrant or any other warrant. HSU has exhausted all leads necessary for a chargeable offense. The case will remain pending until such time more evidence is discovered. And this is Sergeant Camacho. Loser. Oh, they want to hide his badge number. I'll find it. Don't worry, Camacho. I'll find it. On December, who had the casket? On December 15th, I spoke with Detective Mullins, who had the casket weighed. Detective Mullins stated that the casket weighed 93.4 pounds. The weight of the casket would yield a Class B illegal dumping charge if the occupants of the suspect vehicle are identified. HSU will continue to try and identify the suspects. However, this case remains pending until such time. Okay. And then it says Mr. Garcia interviewed a suspect from a tip line. She denied all involvement. Officer Guerra will supplement this report. Stupid asses. Oh, they're missing one. No. You're missing one. They're missing the part where it says the statute of limitation has expired on this charge. Ain't that convenient? Let me see. I just want to make sure I didn't miss it. Hmm. So they got a whole bunch of assumptions with no facts. That's crazy. They just assume a whole bunch of shit. Yeah, they didn't give it because there's one of them there said the statue of. Damn, so they are giving me. Look, y'all fucked up. I already knew what was in it because I already have it. But I wanted to see if y'all were gonna give me all of it and y'all didn't. Because there's a page in here that says that the case is no longer the statute of limitation has expired. And that's not on here because I'm looking for it. Oh yeah, y'all fucked up. Y'all don't like giving me shit? Cool. Cool. See what I'm saying? Yeah, people, they hiding shit. And I already knew it. That's crazy. But yeah. So it never was terroristic threat, right? And they never dropped it off at her house. It was in a curb. What the fuck? A Mexico prop. That's crazy, man. Okay, y'all. Hey, that is crazy, bro. So this is what they were on, man. They're all talking about this, all this bullshit, and it's not. But I like how they left a couple pages off of that one. Not for real. Colorado in the house. Yes, they are, Jeff. Aaron Queen House, unsuccessful. Have you been working on campaigns the past decade? Oh my God. Hey, whoever is around Aaron Queen, please hug her. Please hug her. What's a decade? How many years are in a decade? That's crazy. Aaron Queen, here's your sign. Oh, but I do know this, Aaron Queen. Nate Shazaline is not going to be a state rep. That motherfucker already quit. So yeah, yeah, yeah. Keep talking. Keep talking. The chief of police is gone. Chief Noakes. Who else? Sergeant Stack gone. Sergeant Lieutenant Porter gone. Green gone. Come on now, stop it. You know, settle yourself down. Go over there somewhere. And a banana. Tell old boy I said what's up. Tell your husband I said what's the dealie. I know I'm always gonna remember him from that motherfucking trifold shit, man. We fucking stung that dude for we stung that dude for a minute for them fucking trifolds, man. That shit was so fucking hilarious. That's why I told him that I'm gonna, on his birthday. When I told him happy birthday, I told him I'm gonna send him a signed copy of a trifold. Yeah, that's what they said, man. That was crazy. A Mexico prop casket, but they never found out nothing, right? And for the mayor to be in her official capacity, to be sitting at her seat at the city council, and then to say, "I still have your coffin." I know it's hard for you to grip reality, Mayor Parker. I know you're a little special. I know it. I know it. You've been coddled your whole life. You've been told you're so smart, everything, but they've lied to you. Everyone around you has lied, right? Just like you lied to all of us. That's all. Basically, you know what they call you, Maddie Parker? Maddie Price. They call you Maddie Price. You know, but the weird part is that chick Price, she took all this shit every day, all the time. Man, there was people talking crazy to her, man. You don't even know what the fuck was going on then. And it's so crazy, man. Because you're accusing people of being part of things that they've proven was untrue. But that's your statement. That's all of your statements. The detectives, the police, HSU, everyone else investigated and they found nothing. But for you to tell someone and accuse them Come on now. That makes no sense to me. And that's what I mean. Like, this whole shit is crazy. Crazy. You know? But that's the end of my spiel, people. That's all I wanted to say. Those three things, well, two actually, but that third one. So if people can please share that first part, right? Clip it, screenshot it. That first part about what happened to the U.S. citizen here in our county jail being illegally detained in the jail, refusing to be released, and then they send him to the ICE detention in Dallas to cover their ass, where he's immediately released. Make that one make sense. So y'all be safe, everybody. Okay, the last few ones. Don pneumonia. Dope. Pneuma. Okay. I don't know if I said that right, and I'm sorry if I didn't. Right? Rick Shackelford. What's up, baby? My brother's keeper. Evening, sir. When you were in prison, did you know people who shoved cell phones up their butt, or is that just a well, I never saw someone do it, but I've heard people saying they do it. I've never seen one do it. I've actually seen some dude, right? And it was crazy because I don't have the fat under my thing, right? But his thing, he picked it up, put a cell phone, a pack of cigarettes, and a lighter, dropped this shit down, and made it through shakedown. I have seen that. Now I don't know about that other part, man, but some people do it because you have to understand them cell phones are money. 1,000, anywhere from 1,500 to $2,000 for a cell phone, and then some people charge you $100 to call your family, and someone will charge you probably $50 to charge it. You know, so I don't know, man. I've heard about people say doing it or whatever, but I never saw it. You know, and again, you have to understand, prison takes away complexes. You know, but I will say this: them white boys play that come on game hard than a bitch. That's why I don't play with them. You know, nah, fuck rectum, man. And that's what it's weird, bro. Because why would you call me and talk crazy like that for a whole fucking hour? And then you got his little gullible minions, them guppies that are trying to say it's AI. Come on now. That wasn't a fucking video. That wasn't a video. It wasn't a video. It wasn't an AI video if I have the whole fucking thing right here. It's right here. And I'm finna show it to y'all. A whole.
And certainly you didn't go to the table with nothing.
Look, a whole.
Did you? What the fuck are you talking about, bro?
4 minutes.
First of all, no, listen. Man, fuck you, pussy. Yeah, fuck you, pussy. Eat my dick, bitch. Fuck you.
But wait, this is my favorite part right here.
You're gonna get it back. Shut up, bitch. I didn't do shit to you, you stupid motherfucker. Last night you did do shit. I didn't do nothing to you, you idiot bitch. Shut your. I can do whatever the fuck I want, bro. I can do whatever I want. I'm an own ass man. You. Well, then don't cry when you get the fucking repercussions from it. Repercussions of what? You're a nobody. Yeah, I am a somebody. You're a nobody to me, Chris. You're not even in Texas, dumbass. You're a nobody who I don't give a fuck about because you're a dumbass.
Somebody to build whiteboard, motherfucker.
I don't give a fuck. You ain't getting that video. Didn't do shit to him, obviously. So get off that bullshit already.
I said,
Get off the bullshit already, bro.
He wants you, bitch.
I don't give a fuck.
Huckleberry.
He can get in line with the rest of the lame fucks just like you.
Nah, man.
I don't fucking care. I don't care. That shit don't scare me. You mentioning a loser sheriff don't scare me.
So, Manuel, let me tell you something. You better fucking walk a real straight line.
Bitch, you eat my dick, ho. You eat my dick.
Damn thing you post, bitch, is going straight to Bill Blakemore's pocket.
I don't give a fuck. Fuck you and Bill Wayborn. I promise you that. That's not an intimidation factor to me, ho. And then you want to, and you talk about him. Look, listen, you stupid fuck, and you're talking about him fucking with laws. Look what you just said, you dumbass.
What did I say? I said I'll do the same thing that Chris is doing to me.
What do I have to do with it, you lame fuck?
Did you tell me?
That is not AI. That's a bitter bitch mad because look, and I tried to help him that night that I was on the live with him. I said, stop arguing with these people from an emotional place. You're gonna lose and you will get fucking embarrassed. You know, I don't understand. And then I'm an asshole for it. Because I'm going to say it again, right? That whole thing wasn't for Rectum to come out there. You know, what I was really supposed to do is come on there and explain what I've been going through here in Fort Worth, how I ended up figuring out it was the mayor and all this. You know, so I don't understand why he has it in his head that whole live was for him and it wasn't. You know, that's why I told him to shut the fuck up. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know what he was talking about. I didn't know, right? So when I'm asking questions, why are you offended? When I'm saying shit, why do you be mad? Why not just answer the question, right? Because I said, okay, in that terminology, in that sense, then no. Fuck D for being in bed with a crooked motherfucker. And fuck you for not being a fucking man. And all he heard was he wasn't a man. He wasn't a man. And that's why it's important to debate from a place of facts, not your emotions, because you're not going to hear shit but what your little pussy heart wants. That's what I'm saying. I never understood where it was my job to be your savior, homie. I don't get that, right? And the threats about, man, right now, like one of these people, one of the 36 people on here, right, is the investigators from here. Our courts, judges, cops, they're all on here right now, homie. And that was what I was trying to get. The only thing I wanted him to do is admit what he really was mad about. And I still don't understand what it was. Right? Because I kept trying to explain it. Y'all both doing the same. Y'all both saying the same thing that y'all are doing to each other. So, and I told him, I'm supposed to believe you over him for what? You're supposed to be my friend. If we were friends, if we were cool, why couldn't you call me? Or text me and be like, hey, man, I need to holler at you about that live to get some things situated and correct because you misquoted a lot of things. That's having a conversation with one of your friends, with one of your partners. You don't call them and start talking shit about how you feel, about how another dude made you feel, because that's weird as fuck. That's fucking strange behavior. So he got mad at me because I asked questions and I wasn't a yes man to him, right? So, whatever. But and It was just funny. It was just funny because now everyone knows he's a fucking snitch and a rat, and he'll tell on you just because you don't. He doesn't even understand what I was trying to explain to him. So, but he did. He said he was gonna snitch on me, and his whole thing. He okay, and I'll entertain his imagination, right? Even if I said I wouldn't understand unless it was done to me. How the fuck did I know? He was responsible for your 15 charges because when I asked you to explain them, you wouldn't. When I asked the lawman, the jailer, whoever the fuck he is to explain it, he said he screenshots your post while he's sitting at work and at home. How is he setting you up? How is he lying on you? I don't get that part. Because if it was that easy, they would be able to do it here to me in Carolina. No, they have to figure out good ass lies, man, because they only get one chance. So, I don't know. But thank y'all, everybody, for bearing with me, dealing with me, listening to me. So, out there in the streets, film the police. And remember, fuck snitches, rats, and motherfuckers that dick ride and her butt hurt because you won't dick ride with them. Peace out, people.